Hi again. Here we go for another Wegener story. This is from Moshe. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. It's Moshe. And we only communicated on a keyboard, so I don't even know if I'm pronouncing his name right. But he's a lovely human being, and I haven't been on the Wegener's forum for a long time. I personally am pretending that it never happened, and I think that's how I'm psychologically dealing with it. It happened, and this is actually going to be an interesting exercise for me. Going through it all again, things that I have put in the archives for a bunch of years. I haven't, it's been a while. It's been a hot minute. And I hope that Moshe is good, and I hope that he ends up seeing this. And I hope that his story, like all the other ones, helps somebody else in their either search for diagnosis or post-diagnosis experience with either Wegener's or any other autoimmune disease that is hard to diagnose and is systemic and hits you in 10 different places all at once, which confuses doctors, especially if they have that stupid one symptom at a time sign in their offices. Oh my God, I can't tell you how much I hate that and how terrible it is for people that are dealing with systemic autoimmune disease. Different podcast. Today we're talking Weggie stories, Weggie stories, and our next one is Moshe. So here's Moshe's story. I was diagnosed in 2006 at the age of 58. I was born in Argentina, and when I was 13 years old, my family moved to Israel. I have 2 lovely granddaughters and live in a small village. We like to travel in the countryside by foot, and I was learning every morning Talmud before work, which is a very brain developer. So this is in Moshe's writing, just so you know, and clearly English is not his first language. It's probably his 3rd or 4th language by the sounds of it. And I'm not saying that in a derogatory way in any way, because I respect people who learn English when they have other languages in their pockets already. So kudos, Moshe. Anyways, I worked as a safety work coordinator in several industries like mining, laboratories, food, plastic, construction. So my work was very interesting and challenging. At first I had symptoms of ache in my right ear, and it developed in a few days to swelling of my face. And as a result, the jaw moved aside, causing severe pain and limited jaw open. So I was able to eat only liquid food. Oof. In that situation, I could sleep only by lying in the left side without pain. At first, I wasn't diagnosed. The doctors thought I had an ear or saliva gland infection and was treated by pain relief and antibiotics for about 4 months in that period. I was hospitalized in the Department of Otolaryngology, the ENT, ear, nose, and throat department, and at home at intervals of weeks, and also tried to work between. In my work, I had to fly in the morning and at the end of the day fly back home. One day on my way home, my ear began to discharge, and once again I was hospitalized. They made several tests like MRI, biopsy of the saliva gland, bacterial analysis. Still they did not diagnose me because of my health problem. Because I had no relief of my symptoms, I tried acupuncture. When I got to him, he made me a diagnosis by looking at my tongue and said that I have also a problem with my kidney function, but he will treat first the saliva gland. After 4 sessions, there was no more swelling and the jaw returned to its position. But when I started to have new symptoms, my feet were like balloons and my heartbeat was very fast and I was short of breathing. I had a severe pain in my back that forced me to sleep while sitting that night. And the next morning, I went to the emergency and was diagnosed a severe renal failure. The first one who suggested I might have Wegener's was a doctor who worked in the emergency. He made some calls to several experts, heart, nephrologist, internal, who made all the tests and once again subscribed me antibiotics, whom I refused to take. Meanwhile, they kept doing more tests. One is ANCA, which came positive, and I was finally diagnosed as a WG, Wegener's Granulomatosis. The head of the internal department came and explained to me shortly about the disease and the treatment for it and the risks. As a complication of the disease, I had renal failure and bleeding internal into my lungs, so I was admitted to the intensive care unit for hemodialysis. I also developed deep vein thrombosis in both legs. In intensive care, they tried to put me on hemodialysis, but the pipes were clogged by blood coagulation, and it was impossible to use heparin because of my lung bleeding. Then I was put on citrate dialysis for 8 hours, every session in intervals of 1 day, and also had 5 sessions of plasmapheresis. I was treated with Cytoxan and prednisone before I was released from intensive care. They tried to put a line in the artery and the legs, but it became clogged every time, so at last they insert me the line in a venous in my neck to prevent coagulation. I was released from intensive care after 10 days, and they prepared me to peritoneal dialysis. I suck at these words. I performed hemodialysis at the end of October and November 2006. I started the treatment for PD till the beginning of January. My creatinine dropped down to 2.8, and the nephrologist instructed me to do PD twice a day till the creatinine will go down. Prednisone? No. Will go down to 2.5 and then stop the treatment. But I was still with the line at June 2007 for precaution. My drugs included Cytoxan and prednisone for the Wegeners. As a result of my renal failure, I had dysfunction of the adrenal gland and my bone marrow didn't produce red cells. I developed high blood pressure, so I took enalapril for the blood pressure and folic acid and B12 and B6 and Aranesp, a hormone like that helps to create new cells. Respirant took care of my immune depressed system as a side effect of the prednisone. In March 2007, probably as a result of my immune depressed, I got shingles. It hurts my head and the left side of my face. I had an edema on my feet and lower quadrant, and my face was so swelling I couldn't see. Again, I was hospitalized and got treatment for shingles by Zovirax. Shingles hurts my sensor nerves, and neurologic pain of the shingles began after I was released from hospital. The pain interfered the most to my well-being. The pain shoots abruptness like a white-hot iron cutting through my skin. I found myself, screaming, irritating. I couldn't sleep properly, couldn't go anywhere, couldn't drive, couldn't do anything. It shut me down. They tried to treat my neurologic pain by a latralet with no success. Till today, I cannot sleep on the right side. I must lay on the left side with a towel under my head. Also, it is not pleasant in a windy weather or to drive with an open window. My life changed. I could not work in my last position because it was involved with long driving and field work with long walks. I have an extensive knowledge, so I used to maintain my house by myself, even repairing my own car and my friend's car. Now I can't do any of those. I get too tired after a small strain. Now that my Wegener is in control, I'm trying to do whatever I can. I help my daughter-in-law and my son with my 2 granddaughters, and I do some little repairs in the house and my yard. I try to make the most of my day under my limitation. I read and study. From my experience, I have some advice. Never take your doctor for granted. Ask them questions without fear. 2, get information from books and web about your treatment and drugs, side effects, and interaction between drugs, and discuss it with your doctor. 3, always ask for a second opinion and check that every test the doctor suggests to you if it's really needed. I must thank my great family for being with me in the hard days, and especially to my wife for her support and strength and being at my side in every meeting of that. I am very lucky to be followed up in nephrology, all the staff, the nurses, officials, and especially my doctor, who is not only an excellent doctor, he's a humanitarian. Thank you, Moshe. So that's the experience in Israel with this kind of disease. Really get to travel all over the world. And I hope that Moshe is doing well. Like I said, I haven't been on the forum for too many years, and I haven't kept in touch with anybody. But as soon as these readings go live on YouTube, I'm going to put it out there on the forum and let people come and check it out so that they can see what other people have gone through. Thank you again for listening to another story, another Weggie story, and I'll be back with a couple more. I will, once I finish reading all of them, I will tell you mine from, like I said, I've blocked a lot of it, so who knows what will come out. But as is this podcast, I'm just winging it, and you get little old me with my addled old brain, and it is what it is. In the famous words of Jeff Vogt, it is what it is. Thanks. Peace.